I welcome you all to the second session of Unit 3 Product and Factor Market. So today we'll be seeing about the imperfect competition, and in yesterday's class we saw about monopoly market, and today we'll be continuing with the next market in imperfect competition, that is monopolistic competition. Okay, so as you can see, the monopolistic competition refers to a market situation where there are many firms selling a differentiated product. So you have many firms, they'll be selling differentiated products. So imperfect competition takes too many forms. The two main forms are monopolistic and oligopoly. Then monopolistic competition is found in many fields. That is, for example, let's say in retail trade, in service industries, in some branches of manufacturing, example, cosmetic products, garment industries, electrical appliances, beauty parlors, coaching classes, restaurants, etc. So how do we normally determine in this price, in this imperfect competition of monopolistic market? Because monopolistic market, as we saw, we have n number of firms or n number of producers who are producing differentiated products. So how do we determine the price? So under monopolistic competition, the firm will be in an equilibrium position when the marginal revenue is equal to the marginal cost. As long as the marginal revenue, as you can see here, as long as the marginal revenue is greater than the marginal cost, the seller will find it profitable to expand the output is greater than the marginal cost, or it has to be equal. If the marginal revenue is less than the marginal cost, then the output will start reducing. Or you have to make sure that the marginal cost is equal to your marginal revenue. So in the above diagram, the short run average cost is empty and the short run average revenue is MP. Since the AR curve is above the AC curve, therefore the profit is shown as PT. PT is the normal profit per unit of output. So as you can see in the diagram, short run average cost is MT, short run average revenue is your MP, and then the AR curve is above the AC curve. Your AR curve is above the AC curve. Let me just show it to you. This is AR curve, this is your AR curve, which is above the AC curve. So therefore the profit is shown in the form of PT. Okay, so this is the profit, PT. Okay, so this is PT is the supernormal profit unit of the output. So the total supernormal profit will be measured by multiplying the supernormal profit of the total output, that is your PT into OM, as it is shown in figure A. So the firm may also occur losses in the short run if it is facing the AR curve below the AC curve in figure that is seen in B. So MP is less than MT and TP is also the loss per unit of output. So if your AR curve is below your AC curve, so as you can see here, your AR curve, which is very much below your AC curve, so which means there is a loss that has been occurring here. So MP is less than your MT and TP in the loss per unit of output. So the total loss will be measured by multiplying the loss per unit of output to the total output, that is TP into OM, that is seen in figure B. Next one is the long run equilibrium of price determination in imperfect competition. Under the monopolistic competition, the supernormal profit in the long run is disappeared as new producers or firms are entered into the industry. As the new firms enter into the industry, the demand curve or the AR curve will shift to the left, and therefore the normal profit will be competed away and the firms will be earning normal profits. So when the AR curve, that is your demand curve, is shifting to the left, so normally you will have profits. So if it is in the short run, firms are suffering from losses, then in the long run, firms will leave the industries. So the remaining firms, they start earning the normal profits. So in the long run, equilibrium is established when firms are earning only normal profits. So the normal profits are earned when your AR curve is equal to your AC curve, that is your average revenue is equal to your average cost. Next, moving on to the oligopoly market. So oligopoly is an important form of imperfect competition, since oligo means few and poly means seller. So oligopoly refers to the market structure involving only few sellers or firms. So the automobile industry in India is oligopolist in nature, as only a few firms produce and supply automobiles. In fact, competition among a few firms is a basic ingredient of the oligopolistic market structure. So when there are only a few number of firms in a market, they have a choice between cooperative and non-cooperative behavior. So when there are only a few number of firms or few number of producers in this oligopoly market, so what is this cooperative and non-cooperative behavior? So firms act non-cooperatively when they act as their own without explicit or implicit agreement with other firms. That is what produces price wars. So normally non-cooperative is nothing but where these few firms, they do not explicitly or implicitly agree with other firms. So because of this, there is a price war that is introduced into this concept of non-cooperative. Whereas in cooperative mode, they try to minimize the competition between the firms. So when the firms in an oligopoly actively cooperate with each other, they engage in collusion. So collusion in oligopolistic situation in which two or more firms, they jointly set their prices or outputs and divide the market among them. So so that others also make the business decisions jointly. So this collusion is introduced in the cooperative behavior of oligopolistic market. So how is price determined? So if an industry is composed of few firms, each selling identical or homogeneous products and having powerful influence on the market, the price, the output policy of each other is likely to affect the other appreciably. So they will try to promote collusion. So in case there is a product differentiation in an oligopolistic can rise or lower their price without any fear of losing customers or immediate reaction from its rivals. However, there is a keen rivalry among them that may create a condition of monopolistic competition if it is a differentiated product. Whereas when it is talking about an identical or homogeneous product in oligopolistic market, so there is a collusion where they always make decisions. There is always decisions are taken uniformly by the all other firms. So the price determination, there are two models of oligopoly. The first model is Kinkey demand curve. So the Kinkey demand curve model tries to explain that in a non-collusive, okay, a non-collusive oligopolistic industries, there are not frequent changes in the oligopoly market. There is two choices that is being given in Kinkey demand curve when there is a non-collusive oligopolistic industry. The first choice is the firm will try to increase the price of the product. Each firm in the industry is fully aware of the fact that if it increases the price of the product, it will lose most of the customers. So obviously this is something that everyone understand. When you increase the price, you will lose most of your customers because of this rival. So in such a case, the upper part of the demand curve is more elastic than the part that is below the Kinkey market of the product. So Kinkey market is nothing but here, Kinkey demand curve you're talking here is this. So this break that we are encountering, okay, so this curve, there is a break. As you can see, this is the Kinkey curve. So this curve that is lying above the Kinkey demand curve, where it is more elastic than compared to the curve that is below. So the second option is decreasing the price. In case the firm lowers the price, its total sales will increase, but it cannot push up its sales very much because the rival firms also follow the suit when a price cut, when there is a price cut. Okay, so they have to follow the price cut policy. So if the rival firms make a larger price cut, then one which initiated automatically will face a lot of price suffering in decreasing of sales as well as in their losses. So the oligopolistic therefore avoid cutting prices and they try to sell their product in the market price itself. So these firms, however, they compete with each other on the basis of quality, product design, after sales, advertising, discounts, gifts, warranties, and special offers. So example, as you can see in the Kinkey demand curve, in the given diagram, there is two curves that is made up of segments DP and PD. So the demand curve is kinked at the point B. When the price is 10 per unit, a firm starts selling the products at 120 units of output or more. If the firm decides to charge 12 rupees per unit, it loses the larger part of the market and it comes down to 20 outputs per unit with a loss of 80. So from 20 to 100, you can see 80 units is the difference. In case of the producer lowers the price to 4 rupees per unit, its competitors in the industry will match the price cut and it sales with a big price cut of 8 rupees increase in the sales by 120 units. So when you're cutting the price to 4 rupees per unit, so automatically you're increasing your output also, so which is being increased to 120 and above per unit. So the firm does not gain any total revenue or decreases with the price cut. So under price leadership, so the second model in oligopoly is the price leadership. So under price leadership, one firm assumes the role of a price leader and fixes the price of the product of the entire industry, and the other firms they just simply follow the price leader. So the price leader is generally a very large or dominant firm or a firm with the lowest cost of production. It often happens that the price leadership is established as a result of price war in which one firm emerges as the winner. So in a oligopolistic market situation, it is very rare that the price are independently and there is usually some understanding about the oligopolistic operating in the industries. So how does this price leadership function? So here is the case, for example, let us assume for determining the price output level under price leadership, there are only two firms A and B. Firm A has a lower cost of production than the firm B. So the product is an homogeneous or identical product and the customers are indifferent as between the firms. Both A and B have equal share in the market and they are facing the same demand curve, which will be the half of the total demand curve. So in the above diagram, as you can see, MCA is the marginal cost of the curve of the firm A and MCB is the marginal cost of firm B. So since we have assumed that A will be lower than the cost production of firm B, so there is a curve that has been drawn as MCA that is below the MCB because we are determining that A will have a lower cost of production than the producer B. Now let us take the firm A first. A will be maximizing its profit by selling OM level of output at the price of MP. Okay, at the OM level. Okay, OM level as you can see here, OM level at the price of MP. So this is the price at the price of MP. So because the output is OM, the A firm will be in equilibrium as its marginal cost is equal to the marginal revenue at the point E. So this is your point E. Okay, as you can see here, this is your point E. Whereas the firm B will be in equilibrium at the point F. Okay, so selling an ON level of output at the price of NK, which is higher than the price of MP. Okay, here the price is higher when compared to your firm A, that is your MP. Okay, so two firms have the change and the same price in order to survive in the industries. Therefore, the firm B has to accept and follow the price that is being set by firm A. This shows that the firm A is the price leader and the firm B is the follower. So from the diagram itself, you can see. So since the demand curve faced by both the firms is the same, therefore the firm that is the producer A will start producing OM level of output instead of ON because he has to follow the firm A, which the price is at the equilibrium E. So since the marginal cost of firm B is greater than the marginal cost of firm A, therefore the profit earned by firm B will be lesser than the profit earned by firm A. And that is because the marginal cost of B is greater than the marginal cost of A. Okay, so with this, we'll stop the class and we'll see the remaining topics in the next session. Thank you.